Hey everyone, it's me, Mr. Pisetsky from the College and Career Center here with Derek of the University of Alabama. Hello, Derek. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you being here. Um,
Absolutely.
so I have a couple of questions for you. What would be the top 5 things you would want prospective students to know about Alabama?
Top 5 things. That's tricky because there's probably a top 105
I
things.
know, right?
I say the top 5 is that our scholarships make Alabama an affordable option, even for out-of-state students. Our programs of study are all very hands-on. We've actually been named pretty recently one of the top schools in the country for internship placement. Our admissions process allows us to have counselors like myself working with students from the moment they click on a website page to get some more information all the way until they move into campus and even beyond. Um, two more. I don't want to say football. I don't want to say football for Alabama, even though that is the easy answer. But student life is definitely a huge factor for us. We do try and make sure that every student on campus has an opportunity for them, whether that's something academic, whether that's Greek life, whether that's a club sport, intramural sport, something service-based, something religious-based. There really is something for everybody. And the last thing that students, I think need to know is that we have one of the best looking campuses you'll ever step foot on. If you're looking for a place where you can look around you and feel like home, that's us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus. Yeah, definitely for sure. Um, Great. So next question. What are the admission requirements?
Admission requirements, we're pretty straightforward for admission. We do require some standard documents, official high school transcript, ACT or SAT score, and then an application itself. There's no essays, no letters of recommendation. In terms of the academic requirements, we do require a certain number of classes. If you're an Arizona student and you meet the core requirements to get into any of the 3 universities in Arizona, you're going to meet our requirements for Alabama, which I think is great. That makes it very easy. In general, we're looking for a 3.0 weighted GPA and a 1060 SAT or a 21 on the ACT.
Okay, nice. So you keep cutting out. Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Um, okay. So you talked about it a little bit, but in terms of student life, but can you talk about residential life? What would it be like for a student from Arizona to live on campus?
Yeah, we do require freshmen to live on campus, whether they're from Arizona, California, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, with very limited exception. We try and make it pretty flexible for students about where they're going to live. We have nearly 20 different residential communities throughout campus, whether that's going to be a suite style where you're basically living in your own apartment room, or that's going to be community style, which is going to feel a little more old school with the bathroom that's shared by the entire hall. We do have quite a few different housing options for everybody. In terms of the other campus-based amenities, we have several dining halls throughout campus, several libraries throughout campus, 3 going on 4 recreation centers on campus. So if students want to pick and choose exactly where they're going to work out, that's an option for them. Outside of our dining halls, we do have about 30 different restaurants throughout campus as well, in our student union, in some academic buildings, in some libraries, in some residence halls. So students do have quite a few options to make campus, even though they're away from home, definitely feel like they're home.
Nice. So one of my favorite questions to ask when I'm on a campus is, what are some of the quirky traditions students have?
Quirky traditions that students have. We've got a few traditions on campus that you might not find very many, if any, other places at all. And some of them are going to stem around, that strong sports tradition that we have and that a lot of universities in our conference have. We do our walk of champions before every football game, where the football team walks into the stadium and everyone that's shown out to the game lines that walk and cheers them on as they enter the locker room. Reverse it by a couple days and you've got tailgating on the quad for all the students that are going out to the games. They might get involved with their organization and they'll set up a tent on the quad and they can have a great time to celebrate what will hopefully be a win. Academically, we've got a tradition that I'm a huge fan of. It's part of our Honors Day celebration in April, which unfortunately this year was a virtual Honors Day celebration. But that's the tapping on the mound. And the mound is actually a raised area of our quad in the middle of campus that is on top of what used to be the very first buildings that were destroyed during the Civil War. And that's where they do a lot of our honors recognition for current students, faculty. If we have, scholars like Fulbright or Goldwater scholars, they get recognized during that ceremony. That really is on top of what used to be the very first part of campus.
Nice. In light of everything that's going on with coronavirus, what advice would you give to seniors who are now saying, I don't want to leave home? And what would you say to juniors who are stuck, like they don't know what to do with ACTs and ACTs being canceled? What can you tell us? What can you share?
For the seniors that might feel, they don't want to go too far away from home, wherever you're going to end up is going to have the resources available for that new place to feel like home. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got from a current student actually was to tell students that their first semester, after that they get winter break. And then instead of saying, well, now I have to go back to school, most students at that point are saying, well, I can't wait to go home to Tuscaloosa. So even though you don't want to leave your home in light of everything that's happening, us personally and many other schools out there are working to make their home away from home a lot more of a reality, a lot more welcoming based on what's coming on. For the juniors, luckily you have plenty of time. I know there's a huge roll of the dice happening with whether campuses are going to be open in the fall, whether they'll be allowing visitors, whether the ACT or the SAT is going to happen as scheduled. But luckily for schools like Alabama, you have plenty of time. Most deadlines aren't going to pop up until 2021. And by that time, hopefully, schools will either have enough of a heads up to be more flexible, or you'll be able to get back into the swing of being in class and taking the ACT and SAT and visiting campuses. Luckily, a lot of schools like Alabama have a lot of virtual opportunities where you could go to our website and actually sit in on either a lecture, information session, maybe do a virtual meeting with one of our student ambassadors, meet with an admissions representative, or even do a virtual tour of campus where it feels almost exactly like you're there.
Good. Oh, cool. Very good. Thanks. We have about a minute left. Is there anything else you want our students should, or you think our students should know about Alabama before we sign off?
Oh, about 1 minute. We're a large university, and we love to throw our weight around for the benefit of our students. That's why we have such great internship placement. That's why we have such great law school, medical school placement for our students. That's why we have great job opportunities once a student graduates from Alabama. But despite being so large, we do have plenty of admissions resources to feel like the most personal university you've ever applied to, where the admissions counselors have opportunities to sit on a Zoom call and answer some questions, or pick up the phone, which is here in my house with me, and talk to my students that are based in Arizona and New Mexico. We really want to make sure that even if you're planning on going from your small high school to a university of 38,000, that we know you by name, that we know what your major is, we know what your aspirations are, and that the University of Alabama can help you every single step of the way. Roll Tide.
All right, very good. Thanks, Derek.
Absolutely.